A late February big one. Yeah, big snow possible for some, including the southeast, after we get through some storms. Hi, everybody. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Justice, mapping out all the possibilities here. Here is the brand new European model. I mean, hot off the press. Just saw this come in. I wanted to share it with you. Looks like most of Tennessee, Kentucky could see some snow by Wednesday morning. Moving into the Carolinas as early as mid-morning through the afternoon on Wednesday, and then continuing to be a mix of snow, sleet, ice across the upper parts of South Carolina through western North Carolina, and the chances are growing according to the European model. There's a low pressure off the Carolina coast that would keep snow around and could lead to some pretty decent totals, everybody. So that's what I'm watching right now, and that's what we'll be covering in this video is the new potential for that. How much could we see? What's the timing? And what needs to happen to lock this forecast in? If you're new to the channel, please consider liking this video. Please, in the comment section, let me know where you're watching from. When things change, when snow totals come out, I'm going to let you know. The best way to stay informed on that is by subscribing to this channel and turning on those notifications. That's the best way you'll stay tuned to any kind of severe weather threat that may be coming our way. Now, specifically looking at severe weather, we've got that threat as we go throughout the day today. It is a threat that is going to be confined to Arkansas, Louisiana, Alabama. There are some concerns and some highlighted areas down there that we could have tornadoes going into this evening. Elsewhere, it's a cold rain set to change into a few feisty storms. We need to look closer at that. And as we move into the next few minutes, I'll unpack this for you. Starting first with the Day 1 Storm Prediction Center outlook. It's a hot area, folks. We got a high risk of severe weather in Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Arkansas, Louisiana. These areas are under the gun for the potential for severe weather. And on top of that, they do have a high risk of tornadoes. This would be a 10% chance or greater of a tornado in this yellow area, with the hatched area meaning that if we do get a tornado anywhere within those 25-mile radiuses, we could get an EF2 or stronger tornado. So not only tornadoes, but strong tornadoes are possible with this setup. Now, you notice it does not include the western parts of the upstate. This outlook goes all the way through 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Now, we are under just some general thunderstorms. But as we look at Day 2's convective outlook, it's possible the southern part of the upstate into the low country and then into South Georgia. As things move there, it'll be warmer. It'll be later in the day on Sunday. We could see a refire up. But by then, the energy's to the north and the warm, unstable airs to the south. And I think that risk is not as high tomorrow. But today, unfortunately, we do have that risk. And I've got a brand new computer model that wants to time that out for us. Let's look at these feisty storms going into this day. Cold rain for us in the western Carolinas from Atlanta to Charlotte into Tennessee, but here comes that line out ahead of it this evening. These are going to be our discrete supercells that could contain tornadoes, and we'll likely have a rough night of tornado warning. So folks, have a way to receive warnings. Please share this with anybody that you know that lives in Mississippi, in Louisiana, in Arkansas. This is going to be a night you need to have your storm shelters cleaned out, ready to go, and have a plan in place that you're going to act on quickly, because violent tornadoes, large tornadoes are possible. And unfortunately, it's a nighttime threat for tornadoes in these areas of Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. This line itself could contain some supercells capable of producing violent tornadoes, but it's also going to be these supercells that develop out ahead of it. This would be 1 a.m. in the morning. So unfortunately, it's going to be a long night for some of us here across Mississippi, southern Louisiana, into Alabama as well. Now, look at these supercells still firing up here at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., that line's still marching on. We are now getting warmer in the western Carolinas, Atlanta and Charlotte. That southerly wind out ahead of this line is going to create a volatile air mass that bears watching, one that we need to keep a close eye on. And here comes that line. It's going to first give us some rain around 6, 7 a.m., and then that line crosses through between 8, 9, and 10 a.m. It's got some thunder and lightning with it for sure, some heavy rainfall, but other than some gusty, strong winds, the severe ingredients look to stay to the south. They're off the charts. I mean, this is spring-like instability, hence the higher risk from the Storm Prediction Center than we would typically see in February. That's a March, April type of an outlook. Here we are through the evening tonight. We've got that instability growing, bubbling up back toward the west, stays in Alabama, doesn't quite make it into Georgia or the Carolinas. There's enough for a thunderstorm or two, but it doesn't really give us the chance for widespread severe weather. Tornado outlook today, it peaks somewhere around 7, 8 p.m. here, you got 3s, 4s, 5s. That tornado index is a significant signal that there could be some large and violent tornadoes in this part of the country as we go into this evening and overnight. And still for South Alabama, could be a rough night from Birmingham south. So stay on guard. Please share this video with anybody that you know that could be in that path in Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and even the panhandle of Florida. Let's talk about snow chances, because I know that's why many of you want to see, do we get one more chance? Well, if we're going to get it, not saying we can't get snow past this one, but if we're going to get it, this is a, kind of a teed up shot for us. European model has been our most aggressive model at snow. Let's get through it as we go ahead. All of the models show a wave dipping down. This is basically a 500 millibar height dip. Right in here. This vorticity, this wave in the upper parts of the atmosphere is what's giving us that overrunning type wave. It needs to create something at the surface. So this won't cut it. It'll give you a quick 1 inch, 2 inches of snow. But usually those dips in the jet stream, those vortmaxes, give you a surface low. And here we go. I see the makings of it right here. You see that little line right there over the Gulf? What it's doing is it's trying to close off and give us a low pressure there. Most of Tennessee would have a quick hit of 1 inch, maybe 2 or more snow. Northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, northern Georgia. And here we are going into Wednesday. Wednesday's our go day, folks. And we're getting closer. Hey, we're within that 5-6 day roundup of getting this activity. This would show as the day goes on, a wintry mix would develop across the upstate of South Carolina, western North Carolina, and it would continue throughout the day. Kiddos probably would not go to school. Used to, they'd send you to school and say, we're going to hope it doesn't happen, and then you'd be traveling back in the snow. I don't think they do that anymore. But there's a low pressure here, a 1008 low sitting over Florida. It's a very weak low, but it's there. This is more overrunning from the vort in the upper parts of the atmosphere. This would relate to some snow, ice, sleet mix. Never that good, right? There'd probably be some rain mixed in there across the upstate. It'd be kind of a sloppy mess. This would go downhill into Wednesday evening. That low is now off the coast. And if you know back from science classes, low pressures have counterclockwise wind. So that counterclockwise wind would then bring in colder air. So that would actually allow, if it was a mix or kind of borderline, to actually change over for a few hours there to more ice or more snow in some areas. But this looks like it could be the big one for us that we've been waiting for since 2022. We could get a pretty impactful winter storm as we go into this week. That low really bombs off the coast of the Outer Banks, 998, sub 1,000. That's a pretty good low. It's moving up through Norfolk. Our nation's capital could get some big-time snow, very close to being a nor'easter right there as it goes right up to I-95 and gives many big cities a lot of snow. It would be out of here very quickly. By the time we're into Thursday morning, it's all clear. So this would be a Wednesday night storm system gone by Thursday. We get Friday to recover, and then it's just chilly, but nothing much comes in. In fact, it looks very dry to round out that last week of February. So how much does that new model show? Well, again, guys, you got to remember this is one model, the European, and it's one version of that European. It'll be the midday run. So we've got to take it for what it's worth. It's not gospel, but it does try to point me to something, point me in a direction of a forecast. And here we are. This European model would want to paint a pretty good blanket of some heavy snow across North Carolina. Like I said, the big one. And do you remember about 5 days ago, I showed you that outlook from the Climate Prediction Center? On point. I mean, it highlighted heavy snow as a risk right here. And boy, I mean, 5 days later, the models are showing 12 plus inches of snow in parts of Virginia toward D.C. and Norfolk, stretching down to Asheville and Hendersonville, 8-9 inches of snow. And in the northern part of the upstate, this would be the I-85 corridor from Charlotte to Greenville and Spartanburg. It would be right on the border of snow or ice, and it would show here 1.5 to 2 inches of snow. But unfortunately, it wouldn't just be as clean cut as that. There would be freezing rain with this. And in this model for the upstate, it would show Wednesday could present 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch of ice along with that snow in the upstate of South Carolina stretching to Atlanta. Now, the GFS model is a lot more muted. It wants to say there's no drama here, folks. This wave comes in. It does not create a surface low. If it does, it's too weak to do anything. It's a 10-12 down here. Sure, North Carolina could get skirty with a little snow and ice, but it's brief on Wednesday and it's out of there. The upstate would get nothing in this solution. In fact, I'll just show it to you. The snow totals through that time frame would be 1.5 inches in Asheville with 9 or 10 in Boone and Sugar Mountain, Beach Mountain. It'd be a big snow toward East Tennessee, Pigeon Forge. But not much for Charlotte, Greenville, Spartanburg, or Atlanta. The I-85 corridor would get missed out completely on the GFS's solution. Let's look at the Canadian model. Wave is there. All three of our reliable computer models show a wave. We know that's coming, but here we go. The Canadian is a little sloppy, a little disorganized. It shows a wave overrunning some of this mess. No clear, distinct low pressure down here. If it is, it's broad and it's weak, doesn't do much. But it does send in some form of wintry weather to us Wednesday into Thursday. It's just not going to be a high-impact winter event. If we look at the totals here from the snow, it gives 1 to 2 inches of snow in North Carolina, none in the upstate. It does present the possibility of 1/10 of an inch or so of ice possible going into our Thursday. So again, folks, if you're tuning in late here, or you didn't hear the beginning of this video, severe weather, strong storms are concerned going into tonight, especially toward the south. But even in the Sunday morning, there could be some feisty storms. And then we fast forward to this, which would be the Wednesday, Thursday storm system. What if we average together all 51 different runs of the European model? Well, that's a little bit of a different story. I'm telling you, the European wants us to get snow. The European is your friend if you want snow. It's got 1 to 2, maybe 4 inches of snow in the upstate. It's got about 5 to 6 inches in North Carolina. This is a very snowy solution and quite aggressive here from our European model. The GFS also paints a dusting to an inch across the upstate with 1 to 2 inches in the mountains. Now, that's me averaging out all 51 different runs of the model, not just picking out one and saying, okay, here's the operational run and what it's showing. How about the Canadian? Canadian says, no snow for you. No snow for anybody, really. It shows a little bit, similar to the GFS, a quick dusting to an inch, maybe 2 in the mountains. How about the probability of 1 inch or more? I like to see how this trends. Okay, so this is 1 inch or more. Many people get tripped up on that. Oh, only an inch, what will that do? No, it's an inch or more. Basically, the ground's covered and there'll be impacts. That's the way I like to look at that. This has trended higher. All right, so for the I-85 corridor, it was sitting in this bluish green color, which from my map down low, you can see it. I'll put it up there so you all can see. You don't need to see what's going up north because everybody's getting snow. So if you look at the contour, we were in this 10, 20, 30% range for a while. Now we're in the yellows, oranges, and reds, which are in the yellow, orange, and red. That's 60 plus. I mean, 60 sits on the I-85 corridor, so a 60% chance of an inch or more of snow. That's what the European model is showing us. And let's look how it has trended. So let's go all the way back. This will be 4 runs ago. Higher up. 3 runs ago. Getting a little more bright colors in there, which indicate higher chances. How about it didn't go farther south, though? Last night's run. Okay, darker colors here would mean higher chances in the mountains. How about the 6Z run? This would be in this morning's early run. All right, and then to today's most latest run, darker colors, almost guaranteeing everybody in Western North Carolina would get an inch of snow. That's a 100% chance on the European. The orange is an 80 to 90% chance in the northern parts of Spartanburg, Greenville, Pickens, Oconee County, North Georgia, up through Charlotte. And then the yellow here would indicate 60 or 70% chance for areas like Greenville, Simpsonville, Five Forks, Anderson. Farther south, of course, as you know the drill, 30, 40% chance any day, all day. So that's kind of where things are cooking in that realm. The GFS model, same thing, just not buying it as much. This is kind of what the European showed a couple of days ago, 10, 20, 30% chance on the GFS, more like 70 to 80 in the mountains. And then you look at the Canadian model, all of the different runs, it's a little more than the GFS, but not by much. We're talking 30% in the upstate, 70% chance in the mountains. Let me show you one more thing here. I think you'll enjoy. Make sure I can pull it up while you look at these pretty maps. A couple of different things here. 2 more pretty maps. Who likes pretty maps? I like pretty maps. All right. Let's bring it back on. Thank you for tuning in, folks. Please, if you don't already, please subscribe to this channel. This is my jam. I love what I do. In the times that I'm on TV, I get 3 minutes. So this is a chance for me to go beyond the TV and expand with you on what I love. And that's kind of diving into the deeper part of weather. So here's a website you could go to. It's the Weather Prediction Center's website, and you can click winter weather. I like their legacy page because I like looking at those a little bit more in depth, but looks like it's frozen up on me here. Let's try to fix that. And it wants to stay stuck there. Give me a second, folks, and we'll get that going back. But you get the picture. We've got this thing coming our way that we need to keep an eye on. And little technical difficulties there. Sorry about that, folks. Thanks for staying with me. I promise you it's going to be worth it once I can get the map to load. Okay, it wanted to go a little crazy on me here. So let's go with day 4. All right, so what I do here is I click the day 4, and what it's going to do here, this interactive map, if we can get it to come up for us, day 4 through 7 Outlook. Here we go. This is what I wanted. All right. So you can get on here and you can zoom in. I mean, you can go all the way to your street if you want. But let's just walk through Wednesday to Thursday. It's got this area highlighted in the northern part of the upstate. It's got a higher chance in the mountains, and then it's got a really high chance, 70% or greater, from Winston-Salem, Greensboro, Durham, Raleigh, Chapel Hill. So those areas are obviously going to have a higher risk of snow than the upstate, but it's there. It's painted on there. Another one I like to look at is the winter severity impact. You have to be within 3 days of this, but we can kind of look at what's going on back to the west during this time frame. And right now, there's not much happening during that time frame. But as we get closer to the storm, whether it being a extreme, a major, a moderate, or a minor snowstorm, it would start to show up on there. So I want you to know that as we get closer to this storm system getting here, we'll be dialed in on what it might actually do across the area. So that's my goal, is to show you the trends moving forward, that, hey, the Weather Prediction Center, everybody's seeing it. There is something to look at. There is something to watch there, and the time frame would be Wednesday, Thursday. But we got to get through tonight. My prayers are with everybody in those southwestern communities of Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, and Arkansas tonight. Likely nighttime tornadoes. So please share this video with anybody watching in those areas. Those tornadoes could be large. They could be violent. You want to clean out your storm shelters, get them ready. And then for the Western Carolinas and Georgia, we're talking about some feisty storms rolling through tomorrow morning with possibly some thunder and lightning. Then clearing out, turning cold, lows in the 20s, and that sets the stage for what will come our way into the middle of next week. Folks, my goal as always is to keep you posted. If you're new to this channel and have not already, please like this video, comment in the comment section where you're watching from, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. It is the best way to stay informed when I'm tracking all things weather for you. Hope you and your family have a wonderful day.